As many of you probably could have guessed, I love Final Cut Pro. It's a highly polished piece of software that has very few limits when it comes to video editing. But it's not perfect. There's a few features in Final Cut Pro that could use some polishing and can be a little frustrating to use. One of these features is adding shapes in Final Cut Pro. There is a built-in shape generator, but it has quite a few limitations. For one, you can't easily add a simple straight line to your video. You could use the rectangle generator, then use the transform tool to squeeze it down until it looks like a line, but it's not very intuitive. And while we're talking about the rectangle generator, this is probably one generator tool that frustrates me the most in Final Cut Pro. Let me show you why. When you add a rectangle shape generator to your video, there's no controls to resize it. You can use the transform tool, which works fine if you just need a rectangle, but if you need a rectangle with an outline, or just an outline, things get a little wonky. For example, in my tutorial videos, I often like to use a rectangle generator outline to highlight a button or a specific part of my screen. If I use the built-in rectangle generator and resize it with the transform tool, since it just stretches or compresses everything, I'm left with something that looks like this. A stretched out outline with the top and bottom wider than the sides. Well, there is a better way to add shapes to your video, using the free Better Shapes generator I made in Motion. Let's take a look. After you download and install my Better Shapes generator, in the Titles and Generators browser, select the Better Shapes category. Inside here, you'll find 5 simple yet very versatile generators. First, if you just need to add a straight line to your video clip, there's a line generator. All the controls for this generator are right in the inspector. You can move your line using the position and rotation controls, and adjust the size of it with the length and the width sliders. You can change the color and opacity of this line. And if you want to animate this line, you can use a combination of the offset controls and keyframes. So to make this line animate into the frame, just place your playhead at the start of your clip, bring the first point offset slider all the way up to 100% and add a keyframe. Move the playhead a few frames into the clip and bring the slider back down to 0. Just like that, your line now animates onto the screen. To make an end animation, set your playhead to where you want it to start and add a keyframe to the last point offset slider. Move the playhead ahead a few frames and bring the slider all the way down. Just like that, you can add an in and out animation to your generator. You can also change the start and end caps of this generator from the default square option to rounded ends, beveled ends, or even an arrow. All very simple to do. Next, let's take a look at the rectangle generator. Just like before, in the inspector, you can change the position and rotation of this generator. And unlike Final Cut Pro's built-in generator, you can change the size of this rectangle right in the inspector. And if you add an outline to this generator, it stays the same size, no matter what shape your rectangle is. So if you want to highlight something in your video with an outline, instead of having this abomination, you have a nice even outline. You can change the corners of this rectangle from the joint drop-down menu, use the offset sliders to animate this outline, and even change the start and end caps that are only visible if you're using the offset sliders. Not sure about you, but I think this is much more useful than Final Cut Pro's built-in shape generators. You also have the option of adding a square shape, a circle shape, and even a perforated line as a generator. And just like the line and rectangle generators, all these can be fully customized in the inspector. So to download and install my Better Shapes generator plugin, click the link in the video description and download this pack from my website. Double-click the compressed file to unzip it. To use these in Final Cut Pro, they have to be installed in a specific location. Open another Finder window, select your Home folder, then Movies, Motion Templates, and Generators. Copy and paste the downloaded folder into this Generators folder. Restart Final Cut Pro and the Better Shapes generator pack will be available in the Titles and Generators browser, ready for use. Just like many of my other plugins, this pack is completely free to download and use. Try it out and leave me some feedback in the comments. If there's more controls you'd like to see for one of these generators, let me know and I'll see if I can add them in a future update. If you find this plugin or one of my other plugins helpful and would like to see more like it in the future, consider supporting me on Patreon, link in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you back here next week.